Chapter 2: How I Learned to Sell. My journey through business and coaching world began a long time ago. Very early in life, I knew I didn't want a boss. My burning desire was to be free from having a cap on my income. And deep down, I knew I had what it took to be my own boss, as I'm sure you do too. So in 1995, I started my own business. One of the main reasons for starting my business was creating that crucial freedom of choice for myself. As my own boss, I was able to choose with whom I work, when I work, what I work on. Critically, the people I choose to be around were the most important factor. Long story short, I started a bookkeeping business where I helped other companies. It was my profession at the time, and it worked out pretty well. So I was a solopreneur with a well-paid job I'd created for myself, and I had quite a bit more freedom. But there was something missing. I wasn't satisfied because accounting and bookkeeping isn't really my passion. It was just a job I did well, so I understood something needed to change. I didn't want to stop there and be an accountant for the rest of my career. 3 years down the line, after the accounting experience, I decided to turn my real passion into a business. At the time, my passion was thoroughbred Arabian horses. But raising and breeding thoroughbred Arabian horses is a little bit different to running an accountant firm and being a solopreneur. The truth is, it wasn't as simple as I initially thought. I needed staff and had about 25 horses on average. As you can imagine, 25 horses eat quite a bit of grain and hay, which created a lot of overhead costs for this new business. I also had no idea about marketing and business in general. However, my thinking was that because thoroughbred Arabian horses were my passion, it was probably a good business idea and somehow would be able to make money with it. Not a very solid business model. To make matters more complicated, I didn't consider sales cycle in raising and breeding horses. Generally, these cycles are extremely long. From conception until you can actually sell the finished product, a fully trained horse, it takes an average of about 5 years. And that's a really long time before you actually see a return on your investment. On top of that, I had to learn how to sell because I didn't have to sell much in bookkeeping. I simply had a couple of ongoing clients that were supporting the revenue stream. But with horses, the situation was much different. I found out that selling horses is one of the most difficult things there is. Horses, just like most human beings, are unpredictable. Sometimes a horse rides beautifully, and sometimes the horse is in a bad mood or simply does not feel up to behaving well. And no two horses are alike. There's a variety of different heights, sizes, shapes, colors, attitudes, which makes every single horse a unique product. And to close a deal, you have to find that unique buyer. So finding a match was a huge challenge, especially as a newbie in sales. And all the while, the business was not making ends meet. So my solution? I had to add different products into the mix. I had to trade and import horses, not only raise and breed them. I started a riding school. I was developing a portable stall system. I facilitated riding camps for kids, and all of these things added more hours to my days. Little by little, I realized I was just a slave to my business. Alarmingly, the business wasn't putting enough money in my pocket. Truth be told, I ran out of cash pretty quickly. But by that time, I had 2 small kids and was married. Unfortunately, the marriage went down the drain during that period because we just had no time for each other. I ended up by myself, separated with 2 kids, a farm, and 25 horses. On top of that, I had to let go of my staff because I couldn't afford them anymore. Plus, I had to take on more and more bookkeeping gigs to try to feed the kids and the horses. The reality was that I couldn't just close the doors and say, I'm not doing this business anymore. There were still 25 horses to be fed. I remember sitting one day at the kitchen table and saying, this is enough. I can't continue like this. I realized I'd end up in the madhouse sooner or later if I were to continue like that. With all the workload on my shoulders, it was crazy and the horses were no longer fun. There was no enjoyment in it anymore. It was just work, 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 work 24/7. That was on a Sunday morning. As I drank coffee, I resolved to make this change. And during that period, the only thing I could afford was to buy and read books. So I started reading self-development books, business books, anything I could get my hands on. I kept studying, and it took me about 8 years to turn this whole horses and bookkeeping mess around. And then by accident, I came across a very special book one day on Amazon. It simply appeared in the suggested reads on the top right corner of the Amazon page. It was Secrets of the Millionaire Mind by T. Harv Eker. This book was exactly what I needed as money was still very tight. I devoured the book in 2 days, and because Harv brilliantly recommended his 3-day seminar to deepen the lessons of the book, I joined my first personal development course in London, November 2015. The whole world opened up for me. I came to understand that in order for things, especially business, to change and improve, I first had to change and improve myself. So I became obsessed with personal development. I started traveling the planet to join the best courses available, which led me to finding my first mentor. From there on, things started happening really fast. And that's the reason I'm really passionate about personal development. It's the essence that made the big difference. It's the reason why I help people and work with them on their personal development to become the bigger vessel and the bigger self. Founding the Victory Log. Working with my mentor led me to found the Victory Log where I've been to this day. I discovered my second passion, which is sharing and teaching what I learned. I love helping people grow and accelerate faster than I did. So I started traveling the world and met some of the greatest teachers on this planet. One of them, Blair Singer, was able to reignite my passion for teaching. He encouraged me to start conducting my own seminars all over Europe. Then my daughter, Tiffany, joined the company, and the money was great. I was making about 10 times more than I used to make with bookkeeping. However, that's not why I do this. I do it because I truly live my passion. I live what I'm here for, and that's what I believe. I'm not sharing this to put myself on a pedestal. I'm sharing this because it was a successful journey, and it's 100% possible for you too. And now is your time. You know, it took me 10 years to reach this point of personal freedom and passion, and I want others to be able to do it in a fraction of the time. Maybe half a year or a year. Apart from teaching in general, I discovered that I really loved working with coaches and consultants because they share a common mission. For them, it's about serving and helping, which is why I founded the Victory Log in the first place. It started out as an online platform, which did not work out well, but that's a story for another day. I firmly believe that there's not one thing on this planet we cannot fix with the right education, knowledge, and implementation. And when we do, we're increasing the standard of living for everybody. By helping other coaches with their business, we're creating a ripple effect because together we're helping even more people. And that's exactly what I do and why I do it. My day looks a little bit like this. I have mornings off to ride my horses, play with my dog and my cats, my grandson and granddaughter, develop programs, study, learn, read, and do what I love. In the afternoon, 3 times a week, I work for a couple of hours. I interact with my clients and prospects and prepare workshops. So, do you think you can do the same? I absolutely know you can. You know, I'm not special. I didn't have special parents or a special upbringing. I didn't have special resources. All I did was be persistent and not give up. Here on out, I'll be showing you how to do the same and keep sharing examples of successful people I've helped do the same. I can't wait to read about your success story very soon.